Franchising is sold as the low-risk way of getting into business for yourself. But we recently brought you a story revealing more of the reality. This nearly $130 billion industry robs people of their homes and their livelihoods. Now there are extraordinary allegations that banks are conspiring with rogue traders for a slice of the action. Letitia Gibson reports.
This problem makes Alan Bond pale into insignificance in terms of the rip-off of the public.
Franchisees are just being exploited by the hundreds.
We trust financial institutions with our money, our future, our businesses. Now some of our major banks are under investigation for conspiring to bring down small business owners, franchisees of leading Australian corporations.
I'll never ever get back what I've been through in the last 3 years at the hands of this bully, this corporate bully.
Narelle Walter says she's a victim of churning, a process being adopted by some franchise owners to bring franchisees to the point of liquidation. They then buy back the business for a pittance before on-selling it, potentially doubling their money.
My businesses were going like this and Baker's Delight came in and stole them. No, I'm not a poor operator. If my businesses are going like that, I'm not a poor operator.
Narelle claims her bank assisted Baker's Delight, enabling them not only to take her family home, but her 2 profitable Perth stores. Her loss, over $7.5 million, leaving Narelle and her family destitute.
7 years we've been here and it's taken our whole life. Basically, I'm 40 years old. My whole life's work is in it. There's a lot of blood, sweat and tears went in here and very hard.
Despite an investigation being launched by the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, the bank still ordered in the locksmith.
The bank's lawyer and his little offsider locked in the house. So, gutless. What can I say, gutless?
We are nearly $1.4 million in debt. But when we went into this, we were, nearly $2 million worth of assets before we even met Baker's Delight. So how does this happen?
The ACCC is also investigating Deanne DeLue's claims that she too was churned by Baker's Delight with the help of her bank, which she alleges divulged her financial records.
In this particular case, the franchisors Baker's Delight engaged in unconscionable conduct in various ways.
Deanne's local member, Joanna Gash, tabled her concerns in Parliament.
Inducing financial duress in order to arrange a fire sale of the business, causing financial catastrophe.
Well, I absolutely refute it. We don't do it. It doesn't happen in our system.
Baker's Delight Chief Financial Officer Richard Taylor gives no credence to the allegation nor the investigation.
We have a very, very successful system. Our success rate is in excess of 95%, but there is a small group of people who, for whatever reason, fail. And unfortunately, sometimes they believe that it is our responsibility.
Churning is a term, I think, used by uneducated people who've got no idea about the franchising sector.
Surprisingly, the Franchise Council of Australia, or the FCA, claims to fairly represent both sides, the franchisor and the franchisee. When we quizzed the Chief Executive Officer, Richard Evans, he denied churning existed and blamed the franchisee's ignorance.
There's no guarantees in business. Business is risky. The problem is that some people go into business thinking that they can make money out of an investment without much effort.
Associate Fellow of the FCA, Lee Anstis, disagrees with Richard Evans. He's seriously concerned about the council's impartiality.
I'm not making this stuff up. It's out there. Those people are out there. There's a lot of people hurting.
Lee recently tabled a submission with changes needed to stop franchisees being fleeced, demanding better financial disclosures be exchanged. He believes a full accreditation system is now needed to weed out unscrupulous franchisors.
Well, I didn't get a response. I suspect mine was thrown in the waste bin fairly soon after it was opened. One of the points is that there are now nearly 1,000 franchise systems in Australia. I ask, how many should there be? Maybe there should only be 600. It's not necessarily about quantity, it should be about quality.
The opportunities for deceit, deception and robbery are so clear and so easy to implement in franchising. The pot of gold is there and it gets milked every day because it's there and nobody is watching it.
A pot of gold that's having around $5 million stolen from it every year, according to John Farrell. His organisation, the National Federation of Independent Business, has been meeting with members of Parliament, campaigning to create balance in the sector he says is out of control.
It's premeditated theft.
Churning, in the sense that we identified, is illegal.
The head of the ACCC, Graham Samuel, is firm with this warning.
If you breach the Act in a blatant, fraudulent way, we'll not only bring you to account in a civil process, but we may well consider criminal prosecutions.
But Narelle won't give up the fight.
There's a whole lot of us getting together and we're going to take on the big baker. That's all we can do.
And there's more on that story on our website. Our reporter, Letitia Gibson.